Thank you, ENWorld, for being my number one go-to starting website every morning as I pick what I'm going to talk about. Thanks, guys, for all the links and all the information. What's up, nerdsicles? It's about 8:44 in the morning here at Site B at the 28th day of December 2023. It is bright and sunny at the moment, but I can see those clouds forming, and I'm still under a flood warning. Flood warning! I mean, fire warning or flood warning? Which one would you rather have? Right? I guess flood's more short-term devastating. Fire's more long-term devastating. Fire's more fun to watch than a flood. I don't know. I mean, if I'm going to die in a disaster, I'm going to pick meteor. That's a grim and dismal thought pattern you've gotten into there, my friend. Okay, well, it's time to take a look at the 10 most, 20 most, 40 most, 100 most anticipated tabletop role-playing games of 2023 and how many of them actually lived up to the hype. I've got 3 different lists here that I've dug up, one from Comic Book, one from our friends at ENWorld, and one from Polygon. So at the beginning of the year, we all make our lists of the games we're really, really excited about that we think are coming out. And at the end of the year, we go back and go, yes, that lived up to the hype, or no, it was kind of disappointment, or in several of the cases, what even was that? All right, so first off, we're going to start with our friends at ENWorld and see how many of these were right. So on January 3rd of 2023, Morris & Company predicted their top 10 most anticipated role-playing games of 2023. Number 10 was the Monty Python Concolier Medieval Reenactment Program from Exalted Funeral, made over $2 million on the Kickstarter. That was their number 10 most anticipated tabletop role-playing games of 2023. How many people played this in 2023? How many people bought this in 2023? How many people even remember this came out in 2023? At any point in time in 2023, did you hear any mention of this game? Will it win any awards in 2024? I think the silence speaks for itself. Number 9, oh wait, wrong one. Number 9, according to Morris & Company, was Old Gods of the Appalachian from Monty Cook. This had a lot of positive press behind it. It made $2 million in the Kickstarter. I've talked to people who have it, and I had one question in regards to Old Gods of the Appalachia and setting a campaign setting in America, in the Blue Ridge Mountains, in the Appalachians. And the 2 people I talked to answered the question with no. So that sort of disappointed me. All right, so this game came out, had a lot of hype from it. Monty Cook always kicks ass, but then, of course, we know when it comes to follow through, not so much. So was this on your list of most anticipated games? Did you play it? Have we heard anything about it other than the initial sales and excitement about it? When was the last time this game came up in a conversation? Now, if you're wondering what my question was, if anybody has this game and they can answer this, please let me know. Does this game in any way, shape, or form address the wonderful mythology and the weirdness of Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and Dollywood? Because if anything is going to talk about the weirdness and the mythology of the Blue Ridge Appalachian Mountains in that part of the country, you gotta look at Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. And if you don't, then you're missing a huge part of the mythology of that part of the world. Moving on, Warhammer 40k Imperium Maledictment from Crucible 7. Anybody hear of this game? Anybody remember this game? Anybody play this game? When was the last time this game came up in a conversation? I look at Warhammer stuff every week. No mention of this game. Number 7, The Walking Dead universe. Yes, we've heard of it. It did okay in sales. It has received reviews. People have said, well, for a zombie apocalypse game that's a couple of years too late, it's okay. For a guide to parts of the Walking Dead universe that maybe we didn't know about, not so much. Did it resolve any of the mysteries that the Walking Dead show has presented with us? Not yet. So we heard about this one at least, but I don't know. This was definitely not on my list. I could have cared less. There are better zombie games that have come out before this. It does feel kind of late to make a zombie role-playing game. Great that you were able to get the license to Walking Dead now that the show's done. There are definitely things you could have done with it that I don't think they did. Without seeing it, I can't be 100% sure. But from what I've been told, so did this live up to the hype? Did you play it? Did you run it? Were you excited about it? Do you even care? All right, number 6, Shadow of the Weird Wizard. Yeah, whatever happened to that. That's just came and went. I'm not even, what? It was mentioned. Yeah. Mothership, still not out. Still not out. So much press at the beginning of the year. So many games were hacking Mothership. But as the middle and the end of the year came around, people are like, where is it? Where is Mothership? So I'm going to say didn't live up to the hype. Household. Who even heard of this? How is this the most anticipated game? When did this ever come up? 13th Age never came out. Still waiting for it to come out. Dragonbane came out freely, constantly push. I mean, you can't go a day without seeing an ad for this game somewhere. A lot of people have said that's their game of the year. So I would definitely say for the anticipation and the excitement and the amount of press, definitely agree that this lived up to the hype. But did you play it? Did you run it? Did you buy it? Was it on your list? And according to them, Pendragon 6th edition from Kessium was the #1 tabletop role-playing game that they were excited about in 2023. It is also the #1 tabletop role-playing game in 2024. A lot of people are excited about because it never came out. Never came out. Moving on to Polygon and most anticipated role-playing games of 2023. And did any of these live up to the hype? Same question. Were any of these on your list? Did you play any of these? Did you run any of these? Have you heard about any of these? Apocalypse Keys. But yeah, no. I mean, who was excited about this game and what happened to it? I think it was mentioned once and then disappeared. Karuko, A Magical Year. Nope. Again, most anticipated game of 2023. What the fuck? No. Rebels of the Outlaw Waste is now scheduled for 2024. Good idea, but where is it? What happened to it? No, it just, yeah, okay, yep. Inscrutable Cities. What? Where? When? What? Nope. Songs of the Dusk. Nope. Relic. Nope. Hollows. Nope. So that was theirs. And every one of those, I'm going to say nothing. Those were all, nothing came of any of those games. So were any of those on your most anticipated list? As we get into the end of 2023, you're like, oh yeah, I'm so glad I spent money on that game. Or you're like, I'm so glad I didn't spend money on that game. Or at least with that list, you're like, I've never heard of any of those games. Who anticipated those games in 2023? And finally, we're going to go to comicbook.com and their list. This came out in January 1st of 2023. So they were the first to do it. Their most anticipated games in 2023. Did any of these live up to the hype? Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, Dungeons and Dragons did not come out in 2023. Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Pathfinder 2nd Edition did not come out in 2023. Die, the role-playing game. What happened to this? What happened to this? It got a little positive press at the beginning of the year. Talked about the connection to the comic book and the very meta. It's a comic book about people being trapped in a role-playing game. And then now there's a role-playing game based upon the comic book about people trapped in the role-playing game. But then again, what happened to it afterwards? Gone. Disappeared. When was the last time you heard this come up with the conversation? Anybody buy this game? Anybody remember this game? Anybody care about this game? I'm going to say no. Kids on Bikes did not come out in 2023. Did you actually do any research, comicbook.com, about what games were coming out in 2023? Or are these just games that you were excited about playing in 2023? Because no, Kids and Bikes did not come out in 2023. It came out before then. Monty Python's Concurial Medieval Reenactment Program. Second time we've seen this mentioned. What happened to this? What happened to this? Probably either it never came out or it came out and people were like, yeah, it's like 20, 30 years too late to have a Monty Python-inspired role-playing game, especially if the surviving members of the troupe had nothing to do with it. So I'm going to say another failure. Old Gods of Appalachia. Well, it came out. It's definitely got the press. We'll see how well it does in 2024. Like most of Monty Cook's products, it's going to be the follow-through. Warhammer 40K Imperium Maledictum. Same thing. I'm glad you thought this was a game that's going to come out in 2023 and just kick ass. But I do Warhammer every week. No mention of it for the entire year. Gloomhaven, the role-playing game, did not come out in 2023. Currently scheduled for 2024. The Walking Dead universe, maybe the only one that actually is a winner of this list. Okay, so I'm going to say for the comicbookcom.1, since several of those games on there were just not even out yet or already come out, my own anticipated game for 2023 is D&D. Dude, 2023 D&D has been out since 1970s. 5th edition came out in 2014. So, yeah, doesn't count. So in closing, we started the year, most anticipated role-playing games. We come to the end of the year. Did any of those games on your list for most anticipated? For my list, what was I really excited about in 2023? Other than Walking Dead, which I was like kind of curious about, and Old Gods of Appalachia, which I was curious about. But my list for most anticipated, yeah. As for sales-wise, number-wise, popularity-wise, the amount of times any of those have been mentioned over the year, I would say most of them were fails. How many of those games have come up in discussions over the past year? I'm going to say 90% of them were nope. Never. So probably if we have a winner between most anticipated and end of the year, it's going to be Old Gods of the Appalachians and Walking Dead, right? They're the ones that had hype at the beginning. They end the year of being out. People have heard of them. They've done relatively well financially, and it looks like at least Walking Dead will stick around and have supplements for it for next year. But, I mean, going towards the end of the year, none of those games really have momentum going into 2024. A lot of them were announced for 2023 and didn't come out. So will they be out in 2024? What is our most anticipated tabletop role-playing game for 2024? What is your game of the year 2023 and most anticipated game for 2024? Considering I've only kickstarted one game for 2024 and only have plans for kickstarting one game for 2024, I think we know what my most anticipated game for 2024 is, and that's the only one that I've kickstarted, and that's the Electric State. But I don't know. That's just me. I don't know how many other people are excited about the Electric State from Free League. My most anticipated game for 2023 that I actually kickstarted was Knave 2nd Edition, and of course, Shadow Dark. And Knave 2nd Edition, still waiting for. I kickstarted Shadow Dark. It came out. It kicked ass. It's constantly the topic of conversation. So even though nobody had any idea that it was going to come out at the beginning of 2023, it definitely, lived up to the anticipation it had at the, and then the fact that it came out. So again, ladies and gentlemen, before I leave you for the day, what was your most anticipated game for 2023? Did it come out? Did it live up to the hype? Or are you completely disappointed in the year? What's your game of 2024? What are you most excited about? Let me know, and we can talk about it later on. Till then, I have been the OGGM. If you appreciate this content, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. buy my merch, and have a great day. I will talk to you later.